All right, when I was a kid, early on in life, I learned that I wasn't the kid that good things just happened to happen to. I wasn't the kid that was a natural born winner. I wasn't the kid that was lucky, and I felt like majority of the things that I wanted out of life, I was gonna need a lot of luck to get those things, right? So with that mentality, and I don't know if I learned that through learning what blackness meant in America, learning that or realizing that my mom had to drive me to other neighborhoods to look at other families' Christmas lights because it wasn't nice lights in my neighborhood. I don't know what it was that taught me that, but in learning that about life and being miseducated that way about life, it started to make me self-sabotage. It started to make me get in my own way when it came to me getting good things. There were times where I had the perfect business plan. I wanted to be a videographer, and I had all of these different artists in Chicago that wanted to work with me. And I told myself, you know what the fuck I look like being somebody's cameraman, right? It was a time where I still did it, but it was a time where in college, I decided I wanted to sell liquor. And I told myself like, man, what the fuck I look like being a liquor guy? Like I always would try to talk myself out of doing the things that I knew were right and talk myself out of big opportunities. Also, I used to self-sabotage through procrastination. I think a lot of people can relate to this. You have a good opportunity on the table, whether it be you want to go back to school, whether it be you want to apply for a certain job, and you just put it off. Tomorrow's always a day away until the deadline passes and you can't do it anymore. And you say, okay, fuck it. So I think self-sabotage is something that we all can relate to in different ways. We all get in our own way at times, whether we talk ourselves out of a good thing or whether we don't want to make ourselves vulnerable to introducing love into our lives, introducing positive things into our lives. Maybe we feel like we don't deserve it.
If you lazy, you waking up at fucking 3 o'clock in the afternoon and shit like that,
Popping bottles,
you're setting the tone for everybody because you're the leader.
popping pills,
That's just what comes with being a man.
popping bitch ass niggas.
I don't want nobody making decisions over my life except me. Not a woman, not a judge, not an officer, not no motherfucking body.
When them bullets hit him up, look like son had a seizure. Run up, give it up, you know the procedure. I be sipping Jack and honey.
I don't think nothing can make me feel like a man. I don't think nothing can make me not feel like a man.
Chains on my collar.
You can't take the benefits of being a man without the responsibilities.
Give you niggas halos on God in the cake.
Welcome back to Roses Are Dead. I'm your host, Terry Roseland. My co-host Jones is not here. Rail is not here. Today was a travel week for me again. The schedule got completely thrown off. So we're back. And we got Tip with us today.
Hey.
Hey. Are you happy to be back talking to the people?
Only if they wanted me back.
I think they did.
Oh, okay, so yes, I'm excited. I don't want people booing me.
You don't want people booing you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How was your week?
It was pretty good. I got a lot of work done, was focused on my business and things like that. I got a lot of stuff done.
You had a lot of solitude this week.
I did.
Okay.
I missed you, but I enjoyed it.
I don't know if both those things can be true. My week was pretty good, man. I had a trip this week that went really well. I learned some good things that I needed to learn. Went to the Smoky Mountains. I had a huge house out there. It's like 26 bedrooms and 36 bathrooms or some crazy shit like that. It was dope. It was a great house. So if y'all guys looking for great Airbnbs, remote getaways, solitude, I highly recommend Gatlinburg, the Smoky Mountains, and all of those things, man. Other than that, we got Rose Gold coming up. Rose Gold is going to be a beautiful event. If you don't know what Rose Gold is a charitable R&B cocktail gala. It's going to be March 29th, 2026 on the north side of Chicago in the Lakeview neighborhood. If you're not from Chicago, it's definitely something that's worth flying in for. I know the Patreon members is flying in. I know it's probably going to be some listeners to the podcast outside of the Patreon that's also flying in. And we bring the city out, man. The ladies in dresses, the guys in suits. We're going to have the young guys that we mentor in the village. They're going to be there. They're going to be the beneficiaries of all the ticket sales for the event. Speaking of the ticket sales, you can pay whatever you want to get in this event. It's no set ticket price. It's you can pay anywhere from $1 to $1,000 to get in the event. No extra accommodations come with none of that shit. If you pay $1,000, what do you get? get to help some goddamn kids, man. That's what you get. You get that extra. You get that extra, man. All the donations go towards helping the kids in our career discovery program for their future ambitions and aspirations, man. So if you want to be a part of that, put the QR code down in this corner of the screen, and it's also going to be in the show notes if you're listening on Apple, Spotify, and so forth. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Leave a comment, leave a rating, all of those things. What do you think Roses Are Dead represents? What does Roses Are Dead mean to you?
To me,
Yeah.
Roses Are Dead, what does it represent to me? I feel like it's a necessary platform, especially because in a space and a medium that is convoluted with just regular relationship talk, you need a lot of nuance and understanding of like the male emotions and how like the thought process, even if it sometimes comes out and not a particularly, curated way. Mm-hmm. I think it's appreciated, and why so many people gravitate towards you is because of that just uncensored truth that people want to hear and that they need to hear.
Thank you. Why don't you speak up a little bit, though? You
come in
talking kind of to me.
Oh.
To me.
All right.
So yeah, welcome back to Roses Are Dead, man. This is the show where we walk the path of self-improvement. We invite you to walk that path with us. We understand that everything is not our fault, but if we blame ourselves, we make better decisions, right? All right. This week we're gonna get into a voicemail.
Hey guys. Happy holidays. I hope you enjoyed the Thanksgiving and all the things. This is one of your LA cousins calling. I've been really enjoying the monologue.
Shout out to LA.
That Terry has been dropping since his return from New York. And I wanted to ask about the quarter zip monologue. I really enjoyed that one. I don't have any like, I don't disagree with anything. I thought it was really great, really thoughtful. And I thought it was right more than anything. But I am curious about the proper language, or speaking properly. It's an interesting thing because when people say that Black people sound right, I know what they mean. And I think Black people sound right too. I think it's more than just speaking properly. I know a lot of educated people, and you would not assume that they sound right. And so I just, in my mind, I'm thinking that speaking properly, proper English, and speaking in a right way, like it's a very nasally, it's like a high-pitched, kind of nasally, Poindexter voice that people start to talk in when they're trying to sound right. And I think that is very different from speaking properly. Also, regionally, I'm from LA, and anytime I've spoken with someone like from the South, they say I sound white. I don't take that personally because I feel like that is just a regional sound, whereas like if a gangbanger from LA goes to the South from LA, I think he would be speaking properly to someone with a heavy Southern drawl.
Thoughts on that? I feel like I have to be honest. I never thought about that. I've never thought about talking white outside of proper English, and I get exactly what she means when she says it. It's more of a tone. It's more of a just how the voice comes out more so than just using proper English. And I think her being from LA really spoke to that, because I do think people from LA and people from Detroit, what is it called? Enunciate? Mm-hmm. They enunciate a little bit better than people from other places, especially from Chicago. You know, we ain't pronouncing no ERs, none of that shit. We ain't pronouncing really no R's for real. Unless it's coming in the first half of the word. We skipping every other R, which is crazy. But yeah, I kind of see where she's coming from.
For me, I think like you said, with LA, there is like a Valley Girl type of accent that they have. I don't necessarily think that's speaking white. And also, I don't have a problem with someone speaking proper English. I think, of course, that's such a negative connotation that proper English is only associated with white people. But as far as like people subscribing to business, like business voice and all of that as like respectability politics, I don't mind when people do that because we all have our survival techniques to navigate this world. However, for me, I don't really get hung up on the accent or like how someone's speaking, more so than are they actively trying not to be black. That's more frustrating for me. And I feel like that courtesy thing was like very much an aversion to blackness and showing like, oh, we're not that type of black.
Growing up on the South Side, I always thought like early on in life that people who spoke proper was talking white. I participated in that until I got a little bit older, a little bit more mature. Went around some different people and realized like, you know, some people they just come from an area where you're not getting all of the lingo, you're not getting all of the broken accents and things like that, or all of the broken English and things like that. As far as associating proper English with whiteness, I mean, white people invented the language, so I would associate it with white people. Not saying that there's anything wrong with anybody speaking proper English, but it's all about just shit. You gonna talk how you raised around the people that you raised around at the end of the day. But when she goes into the voice and the tone, I get exactly what she mean with that. I'm not gonna lie. I get exactly what she mean with that. A lot of things going on in the world. Jake Paul finally got knocked out. Happy to see that.
Been waiting for it.
Jake Paul got his ass kicked by Anthony Joshua, who's a black British boxer who women are going crazy for today. And I don't think it's because he knocked Jake Paul out. But Anthony Joshua been around for a while. Happy to see it happen. The fight sucked for the first 4 rounds up until he actually knocked him out. But that shit was cool. But what bothered me the most about the fight was the fact that you had an all-black coaching staff wearing Hulk Hogan attire. And Hulk Hogan, who recently died, we found out was a fucking racist. An avid racist. A bigot. A dedicated racist. Like, he was racist as fuck.
Yeah, he was scumbag.
Didn't he say some shit like he was scared to die because he might come back as a black person or some crazy shit like that?
I don't remember that, but I know his daughter was dating a black guy, and he basically was very derogatory in what he was saying about their potential grandkids.
That nigga was saying some shit like he hoped that he don't die, that the family don't die and come back as black people. Like, he was super fucking racist. So if Jake Paul wants to wear some Hulk Hogan attire and represent like RIP Hulk Hogan, because my thing is this, like, right, like if you grew up as a fan of Hulk Hogan, which a lot of us did, right? Like, I was a wrestling fan, wasn't necessarily a Hulk Hogan fan. Like, his brand didn't speak to me. Definitely was a Stone Cold fan, right? So let's use Stone Cold for example. If Stone Cold died, God forbid, and I found out the nigga was a racist, it'd be like, fuck, like, that's fucked up, childhood hero, but I'm not fucking with him.
Yeah.
Right? I expect white people that are in proximity to black culture to also not fuck with them. That's what I would expect. Because Jake Paul, he's a YouTuber. That's cool. Jake Paul places himself in proximity to black culture. He does it a lot. He does it with the way that he move in boxing. He does it with some of his ring outfits. He does it with, and I think that sometimes black culture is so commercialized that it's hard to even call it black culture at a certain point when it comes to fashion and things like that. Like, it gets so commercialized to where it's like, can we even really claim the shit is our own? But I do think Jake Paul intentionally places himself in proximity to blackness. So to wear Hulk Hogan, because I'm pretty sure he saw the shit, because the Hulk Hogan racist shit went viral when he died. Like,
so it was Jake's team that was wearing the Hulk Hogan stuff.
What you mean?
His team was wearing it?
Yeah, it was Jake Paul and his team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I missed that part. Okay.
He's a white man, but the whole team was black though. It was all black people, and they had the Hulk Hogan shit on too. And even with them niggas, y'all grown ass men. I get that y'all getting a nice little check, a nice bag, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, like, who gonna protect our culture though? You know what I'm saying? Like I get everybody want to get paid. Like, I get it 1,000%. But it's like, at what point do we protect our culture?
What dollar amount do you put on your self-respect?
Yeah. I mean, fuck it. I don't care about your self-respect. that I get your point, but I don't care about the self-respect. But respect even if you don't fuck with yourself, like don't embarrass us like that, gang.
Yeah.
Like don't embarrass us like that.
So does Jake Paul only fight black boxers?
He's fought some white guys.
Oh, okay.
He's fought some white guys. I think he's fought mostly black guys. He fought Tyson, Nate Robinson, Tyron Woodley. He was gonna fight Javante. Yeah, he fought like, some. I mean, black athletes are pretty dominant in the sport of boxing. So I think that making the biggest fight that you can, you kind of gonna go towards those black athletes. So yeah.
I wonder if that's his niche though, like play the racist and fight the black guy.
No, I wouldn't say he played a racist though.
Okay.
I don't think that's been his MO.
Just support the racist.
I think that it was more so tone deaf than him actually being on some like overt racist shit. I think it was just more so some like tone deaf where like, I heard that, but I don't get no fuck. Like, it's Hulk Hogan. He bigger than that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that shit was pretty crazy. What else is going on in the world?
What else is happening?
50 Cent still being a dick.
Oh, yeah. He's fighting everybody. Marlon
Wayans, Jim Jones, Mano, Fabulous, Dave East. Did I miss anybody?
I wouldn't want any beef with this man.
I just don't understand how people support the messy shit.
Yeah, he's so, as a grown man, he's too petty. And he's too dedicated to misery.
Yeah, it sucks. Well, we ain't gotta go into that. Let's actually get into this topic, man. Fuck the bullshit. Let's get into this topic. Self-sabotage. I think a lot of times, right, when I scroll the internet and I see some of the posts I see from men and women, especially in dating, especially on apps like Facebook, which I kind of just want to delete at this point. That's why I see the most toxic space for the division between men and women and race. The gender war is still going on strong. Black women on Facebook are obsessed with men being gay. Like a nigga could say anything and the comments gonna be full of women calling him gay. It could be some shit that's not related to sex at all, anything, right? And of course, black men are there, talking a bunch of shit about black women. I think that when it comes to self-sabotage, when it comes to getting in your way, I think a lot of people, when we talk about this in the Patreon monologue, a lot of people would rather hurt themselves first so they don't have to deal with pain down the road. I also think a lot of people restrict themselves from being vulnerable to not place themselves in a space to where they can feel pain. But in restricting yourself, you're also restricting you're capping your happiness as well, right? Like to reach that high level of happiness, of joy, of gratitude, you know what I'm saying? To feel like gratified in life, you have to make yourself vulnerable to let those emotions in, and you put yourself at risk of pain when you do that. So I think that a lot of people, when I hear men just, if a woman is got her shit together, she's well accomplished, she's too independent. If she broke, she a gold digger. So it's like, whichever way it go, I'm going to keep telling myself these things and I'm going to buy into these thought processes that keep me from being vulnerable to a woman. All these women for the streets. You hear so many men say shit like, if I ain't worried about another nigga shooting a shot at my girl, because if he get her, then that's his bitch. She ain't got nothing to do with me, whatever case may be. If it's that simple to you, why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you in a relationship with her? You know what I'm saying? Why are you portraying any level of romance? Why are you courting this woman if you feel like, if it's just that much of a emotionless experience for you to feel like, oh, well, if another nigga, shoot his shot, if she give another nigga, and don't get me wrong, like, you should leave. You should walk away from a situation if a chick play you like that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. What I am saying is that this role that we play, that everything is so emotionless and everything is so carefree and everything just rolls off our shoulders and we can't feel anything. These are lies that we tell ourselves to put ourselves in a position to where we can't be hurt, but we end up hurting ourselves in the long run because we restrict ourselves from feeling a full human experience of love, of care from a woman. But I think a lot of this shit is it comes down to paralysis by analysis, meaning that once you put so much thought into something that you can't move forward. You can't move on it. You can't make any progress in the direction that you need to make progress into. You got any thoughts on that?
Self-sabotage to me is basically your body reacting to things you're not used to, right? So if you're not used to peace, if you're not used to emotional stability, if you're not used to success, your body's going to have an adverse reaction because you've essentially gone through so much that you've dysregulated your nervous system. So anything that feels outside of it, like, well, I'll use the example of women. So it's like if you're dating someone and he feels boring, and it's like because you've only experienced chaos, you've only experienced feeling unseen by someone, or being in an unstable environment. So yeah, you don't have the same adrenaline rush because really that adrenaline rush was it was either fight or flight. And what you were doing were fighting for that relationship. And now you're in a state of peace and you just don't know what to do.
And it gets scary, right?
It's terrifying because that's not your normal space to be.
Why is it terrifying though?
It's terrifying.
Is it terrifying or is it just not gratifying?
No, it's terrifying because if this is your body's base, right? It's like I'll use something even not as dramatic as in a relationship. I'm a city girl, right? I've lived in the city all my life. If I go somewhere and it's too quiet, I'm nervous.
Yeah, I talked about this on the show before,
Yeah, like I'm nervous. So it's just like what your body is used to. Now it's like, but you have to get to a point where it's like the accountability comes in. Where it's like, are you retraining your brain or are you just accepting this?
I agree with that. And I think that when it comes to relationships and emotions, I think that we fight vulnerability in every sense. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to self-sabotaging, getting your own way. For example, outside of a relationship, it takes a lot of vulnerability to go back to school at 30 years old.
Yeah.
Right? So you think about self-sabotage, it's like, I want to take my shot at being a doctor. I want to become a registered nurse. I want to become an engineer. I want to become a lawyer, whatever the case may be. And you tell yourself, like, man, I really hate reading though. You know what I'm saying? Like something simple that you know that if you had to, you could get used to it. If you had to, you could deal with it. If you had to, you could get it done. But you tell yourself things to keep yourself away from it. Oh, I'm too old for this shit. I'm going to be in there. Motherfucker's going to be 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot of vulnerability to go sit in the classroom when you're 34 and the average person in his class is 20 years old. And you worried about how they looking at you. You worried about, you know, damn, I'm going to be 38 by the time this shit over with. I'm going to be old as fuck, just starting my career. All of this shit, like, these are the things that we use to self-sabotage. And I think the fight against vulnerability is what holds us back in so many different situations. We talked about financial insecurity. It takes a lot of vulnerability to tell your girl Christmas canceled because you're trying to hit a financial goal, or to tell your family or your kids or whatever the case may be, like the truth, like, hey, shit real right now. You know what I'm saying? We got to cut back on XYZ. We can't go here. We can't go there. We can't do this. Christmas canceled because we trying to elevate. It's easier to just say, you know what, fuck it. That little savings I saved up to do XYZ with, I'm going to go ahead and blow that shit because I ain't trying to have nobody look at me like I ain't got it. I ain't trying to have nobody look at me like I'm broke. I ain't trying to have nobody look at me like I let them down in any type of way like that. So I'm going to go ahead and like keep, you know what I'm saying? Like spinning my fucking wheels, staying in the same place and not progressing because I can't deal with the vulnerability of letting people know that I don't have it all together right now. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we fight against ourselves in so many ways. You got anything? I feel like we got to have a conversation. You just like staring at me.
No, I'm sorry that you're talking so good right now. But yeah, no, I completely agree because even with, you know, I'm back on the job market and just using myself as an example, you know, like it's a very vulnerable thing to know that you're very good at something and you're accomplished in your career and people are saying, no, you're not a good fit for this job. And you're like, I know I could do this job with my eyes closed. So you get to a point where it's like, you know, you're making excuses. You're like, oh, I'm just going to take a break. I'm going to rest. Yeah. But then that rest becomes deference. Yeah. You know, and then now the rest is turned into 3 weeks.
Absolutely.
So yeah, self-sabotage definitely that like has shown up for me, especially like recently, as like stagnation, I will say.
let's get deep, man. When we talk about self-sabotage, and you just said taking a break, I'm gonna tell y'all the reason why we can't afford to self-sabotage. Living in America, having dreams, having aspirations. Every goal that we have is moving. There is no single goal that we possibly have in life in America that is stationary. It's always moving. So if we're not moving, then that goal is moving away from us at all times. If you want to get in shape, when you were 15 years old, you could do 20 push-ups for 2 weeks on the diet of Flamin' Hots and Winter Fresh and see results. The older you get, the harder it is to see results from working out and to get in shape. And you get older every day, right? So that goal is always moving further away from you. You take a 2-week break from the gym, you lose 2 months worth of progress, and it take you more than 2 months to get it back because the goalpost is always moving away from you. When I was a kid and it's 2001, I'm watching MTV Cribs and I see Birdman house and it say it's $1 million house. And I'm like, damn, I want to be a millionaire so I can buy a house like that. Well, 25 years later, here we are, $1 million can't buy me that house. You know what I'm saying? $1 million can't buy most of the shit that they could buy in, you know what I'm saying, 25 years ago. And every single year, inflation is going up and $1 million has less buying power. So even being a millionaire, like 25 years later, we still saying, I want to be a millionaire. Even that in itself, it doesn't mean what it meant 25 years ago. That goalpost is constantly moving. So the truth of the matter is that you have to be, with the skills that you have to run as fast as you can to stay in place.
Yeah.
While learning how to fly so you can get ahead. And I think that even when I think about the podcast, and when I started off on Terry Roseland podcast, having a goal of like, I want to have the biggest relationship podcast in the country. That was the goal. And it hit a point to where we was doing 3,500 downloads a day, which put us on the charts. It put us in a high spot. And we was working towards that goal, getting more and more listeners, and we was like, something happened with the studio, and we was like, we took a 5-month break. And when I came back from them 5 months, you think that we had them 3,500 listeners a day?
Yeah.
Fuck no. Like, you know what I'm saying? We starting off at back like 100 listeners a day, and we got to work ourselves back up to that 3,500. Plus, the podcast we was competing against, they're beyond that 3,500 now, and it's 10,000 new podcasts. So the goalpost is way out there, like just from taking a break. So I'm not saying that we can't take breaks. I'm just saying that we got to understand the costs that come with it. And we have to be, we can't afford to get in our own ways. Like the goals that we have are already so difficult with us being fully tooled and fully equipped.
Yeah.
It's difficult enough.
So
Go ahead.
Do you have the same opinion? Because I think stagnation and the examples that we're using, they're like very extreme, right? But I think another innocuous way to look at self-sabotage and how it can show up is like just coasting.
Yeah.
So would that be like your same advice of like the goalpost is moving so you can't even coast either?
You can't coast because if you're coasting, you're not running as fast as you can. So if you're coasting, you're falling behind too. So coasting could be, I'm just going to work every day. That coasting is me when I was a teacher. I'm going to work every day. I'm after work, I'm chilling. I'm not learning nothing new. I'm not trying to go to grad school to make more money. I'm playing a game after work. I'm enjoying life. I'm getting my check. And that's it. I'm not really saving much or anything, whatever the case may be. And you're going to look up and wonder how you was poor because you never tried to make more money and inflation kept going up. So when the price of eggs go up, you can't afford it. It's affordable to other people. We all gonna complain about it, but some people still buying the motherfucking eggs. You know what I'm saying? And some people just literally, it's out of their budget. You look up and wonder how that happens. And it's because that goalpost is constantly moving. So if you stop, it's not stopping. If you coasting and you're not running full speed, it's still moving away from you. It's still a gap being made. So if you think about it like football, you know what I'm saying? You running as fast as you can to stay in place and you do a little bit extra. Me making a podcast was doing a little bit extra. So now I'm getting down towards the 30-yard line. I'm almost in the fucking end zone. I took that break. I didn't get to pick up where I left off when I came back. I started back at the 1-yard line.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think coasting though is like a little more dangerous
Okay, why is that?
Because you could still feel comfortable. You could still feel their success, right?
Yeah.
And then not only just wake up and see the goalpost move, you wake up and see 50 years of your life passed.
Yeah.
And now you're even more afraid to try something different. Or it's like you've been successful in making a good deal of money, but you're not trying to like make yourself invaluable at your job. So then when layoffs happen, you go. And it's like, what just like, basically other people start making decisions for your life.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also think that like, some goals are, I think that like when we have goals that don't center ourselves, we're going to be blessed and we're going to live good lives. You know what I'm saying? When we got goals and our goals is to help other people and it don't got nothing to do with us, we're going to be blessed and we're going to live good lives and we're going to be gratified.
I definitely agree with that.
But I think that there's nothing wrong with having money goals. I also think that we got to have money plans too. And I also think that we got to realize at a certain point that some of the money that we want ain't as much as we think it is. It's just that we not managing the shit right. You know what I'm saying? Like you look at like $1 million or something like, oh, I want to be a millionaire or whatever the case may be. I definitely want to be a millionaire. And you start to realize that like I was talking to somebody about a billionaire. And I'm like, damn, to be a billionaire, I don't think we realize how much money that is, right? Because you can look at somebody and be like, oh, this person worth $4 billion. And you look at somebody else and be like, they're worth $8 billion and kind of look at them like they're the same.
Yeah.
But to look at, if you understand how much a billion is, you understand how far
What did Chris Rock say?
8 billion is from 4 billion.
He said if a billionaire woke up with millionaire money, they would kill themselves.
He said that if Bill Gates, because we was looking at billionaires like they're just billionaires.
Yeah.
So he's talking about Bill Gates and Oprah. They're both billionaires. He said if Bill Gates woke up with Oprah money, he would jump out the window and cut his throat on the way down.
Yeah.
Like that shit would be crazy to him. That's like poverty for him, right? That 4 billion that Oprah got. But you look at a billion, to be a billionaire, you have to make $1 million 1,000 times. That sounds crazy.
It's wild.
When you haven't made $1 million one time, and you think about a billionaire made $1 million 1,000 times. A trillionaire made $1 billion 1,000 times. Crazy. That's why people are like, can a trillionaire exist? You have to make $1 billion 1,000 times. But to be a millionaire, you have to make $1,000 1,000 times. That don't sound like a lot, right? Because you had $1,000 at once. Your paycheck is probably $2,000, whatever the case may be. Like, you know, I don't know what the average like wage is right now, but even if your paycheck is $1,500, whatever the case may be, you pay rent, $1,000 a month in rent for 20 years. You spent over $1 million on rent. Everybody's gonna do that. It's some of us who've probably done it already. If you're 40, you've been living by yourself since you was 20, you probably spent $1 million. Not $1 million just on life, on all your expenses, all your bills, going out, just on your rent. So when you think about life, you spent well over $1 million in this time. So it's just like, I think if we start managing our money a little better, saving more, investing, whatever it is, how your savings accounts compound interest, I think we all can get there. We took the village, we took the boys to see some firefighters, and they were talking about how they was like, if you put your money in your pension starting early when you first started a career, even if you're in your mid-30s, you're gonna retire a millionaire of being a firefighter. Anybody telling you that when you were a kid? No, you would never think a firefighter is gonna be a millionaire. Now the thing is, we look at millionaires as people who start their career year one and make $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Rappers, basketball players, and shit like that. Like, I got on from the first day and was a millionaire. We don't think about the guy that works and ends up a millionaire at the end, which is crazy. And somebody else also made the point about athletes where the reason why athletes struggle so much to manage their finances is because it's really the only profession, athletes and typically entertainers, where you make the most of your money in the beginning of your career and less later. Whereas a doctor or whatever the case may be, you work your way up to the head surgeon or whatever the fuck. And now you went from making $200,000 a year to now maybe you make $1 million a year. You know what I'm saying? But as an athlete, you getting all this money up front very young. And the older you get, the less you make. That don't happen really nowhere else. So it's very difficult to manage that.
Like, yeah, and there's no pensions for them. They just, once they retire, that's it, right?
They say it's pensions now to an extent. I believe in the NFL. I don't know what the NBA got going on with a lot of y'all. But it's just that you're getting the bulk of your money as a child, essentially. You're 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? So you're probably not managing it right. And by the time you got the mind to manage it right, you're making a lot less. But you probably already bought the house that you have to maintain, whatever the bills are.
And the staff and everything
the
else.
Crazy shit. So that's all of that. But I wanted to just go into that to say that, like, the reasons why, like, our goals, and I know the people who listen to this podcast have real goals. Like, the people who listen to this podcast, the people in the Patreon, the people who I've met, the people who I've DM'd and talked to back and forth. Like, these are people who, they're not just trying to, you know, take what life gives them. They want to do more. And I think that for all of us for us to be working against ourselves, when you look at what we up against, it's like, it costs too much. It's too heavy of a price.
So just to get back to like the self-sabotage aspect. So you say you were coasting, right? So what did you do to retrain your mind or, you know, regulate your nervous systems to say, I'm tired of just coasting? Like, what was that day like for you?
30 was coming up, and I feel like I ain't had nothing to show for it. It just was that milestone number, and I'm just like, damn, what am I doing? You know? I think some of that, to go back to childhood, I always was uplifted for being the youngest in the class. I was a grade ahead. So it always was like, oh, damn, you the youngest? Like, how you in 7th grade and you only this old? Or how you know, people would be like, you know, high school started, I was like 13 or some shit. You know, I feel like, damn, we all 14. Some of us 15. How you 13 in high school, whatever. So I was only a grade ahead. But I was really flexing because it wasn't because I was smart. I didn't skip a grade. My grandma wanted me out the house at 3, so she made a fake birth certificate to get me in school.
Free child's care.
Yeah, my grandma was on some fried scam shit in the 90s, early 90s. So I was a grade ahead, right? And I took pride in being the youngest because it made me feel like I was special, like I was smart, like I was smart enough to be a grade ahead type shit. Even though I didn't earn it, I was maintaining it. And I had good grades and all that shit. So to go from that to graduate high school at 17 and not go to college till I was 21, now I'm the oldest by far, right? Like, so now I'm a freshman at 21, going on 22, because I turned 22 September 26th. So August, school started in August. So right after school started, damn near a month later, I'm 22. I'm old enough to graduate. Like, I should have went to college in 2008, graduated in 2012. I went to college in 2012. So I'm the age of the seniors, but I'm a freshman. That was hard for me, coming from being the youngest to being like by far the oldest. And I think that because of now, a lot of my peer group are 4 years younger than me because, you know, in college, it kind of reshapes your whole peer group. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are people you're networking with, you in there for 4 years with them. So a lot of people that follow me on social media is just not from my age group. Like, they just a little bit younger. And when it was time to turn 30, and I know when I post like I'm turning 30, my peer groups are like, damn, this nigga old as hell. Like, people will forget that you're older than them. You get what I'm saying? You know how like when you're around people that you older than, they always remind you that you older than them, no matter, nigga, we say this every year. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was something about, I'm finna turn 30. Most of my peers are 26. What do I have to show from I can't just turn 30. I need something. And that's what made me start saving money to buy property. That was the first step. And then once I bought the property and saw how it wasn't difficult, it was like, oh, I could really have more in life, you know? And then COVID came and that solitude came. And that solitude really was just like, nigga, what you doing with your life? Where you at? Like, what's going on? What do you have the capacity for? Could you be doing more? You know? And I think that was really like... TJ had the idea to do the podcast 2019, but when COVID came and I started that winter morning shit and I started waking up early every day at 5, having those 2 hours of solitude to myself every single day, that's what really like kind of retooled my mind.
And I think because that's a great way that you like navigated that, because, you know, most people put an age on success. So they're like, if I'm not successful by 30, it just eluded me. It's never going to happen.
I don't think people feel that way.
I think when it comes, like when you were talking about like becoming a millionaire and things like that, people really feel like if I haven't accomplished this yet, I'm not going to accomplish it.
That's crazy. And
that's why people just a lot of time just don't try, because they feel like, oh, I'm too old for this. I've aged out of this. Even when it comes to, you know, like you know how many people want to start a podcast, but they just like, I can't because like I'll be the old nigga on the podcast.
Or they were waiting for the perfect time. They're waiting till they get the right camera, till they get the right equipment, till they
Everything got to be perfect.
Yeah, that's the perfection. Oh, perfectionism. That's the level of self-sabotage.
Definitely.
Yeah, perfectionism. I got this shit gotta be all the stars have to align or I'm not gonna try.
I definitely identify with that.
Really?
Absolutely. I've had to just literally push myself off a cliff to do certain things because I'm like, if it ain't perfect by now, it's just never gonna be. You know?
Yeah, I feel that. That's a tough space to be in, man. I've been a perfectionist at times, but not in a perfectionism has never stagnated me. But I see it stagnate a lot of people. And I tell people all the time, it's just like nobody knows. I learned this from, I want to say Jody. Like, when you do those live shows, I used to be pressed. You saw me at the first birthday party of mine you came to. I was just like, oh, there's all this shit going on.
Yeah.
It used to be worse than that when we was doing a live show and it's like the DJ late or he keep leaving the DJ booth or, something went wrong. We doing sound check. Ain't nobody here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Driving me fucking crazy. And I used to be so worried about everything to the point where when the show's happening, I'm still in that. You can see it in my face. And
still in that mode.
The whole time. And people will walk up to me to say hi and da-da-da. Or I'll be worried about who didn't show up, especially early when we was in a barbershop. Who didn't show up? I'm mad the whole time to the point where I'm not even showing the proper love to people who did show up and people who did come out to support. They not getting the best version of me. And Jody told me one day, she was like, nobody knows how the show is supposed to go except you. So you worried about this shit being perfect and everything that go wrong. You think the whole world gonna notice. Nobody knew how it was supposed to look if it went right. So to them, the show was going just fine. It's going how it's supposed to go. You just know it's fucked up.
Yeah.
And you don't got to worry about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's still moving forward. And I'm like, that shit helped a lot.
That was great advice.
Yeah. That shit helped a lot. Because it's like that with you building a brand, you putting out your podcast, da-da-da. Like, you got this vision in your mind, but if you use what you have right now, people are still going to accept it for what it is, and they're going to grow with you at the end of the day. And it's also something about building that audience. Like, shout out to Brian, shout out to Mel, shout out to Courtney. I'm probably missing hella people, but everybody who was around listening to the podcast back from the barbershop, and they bring it up at times, and it remind me of like how, it's certain people in media that you discover early and you grow with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like I discovered J. Cole. I felt like I signed the nigga. Like I was kicking it with this girl. I was dating this chick. Not even dating. I was talking to this chick in like fucking 2008 or some shit. And her sister was a big hip hop head. Like I was. Like we was both just super into music. You know what I'm saying? And her sister was like, I was this nigga named J. Cole. Da-da-da, and I listened to the warm up. Shit was fire. It ain't no motherfucker who I knew who this nigga was. Nobody. And I'm like, oh, this my nigga, right? I'm putting everybody on. Everybody I knew, I'm telling them, J. Cole, J. Cole, J. Cole. And they like, oh, this shit hard. Who the fuck is this nigga? He from Chicago? Like, nah, this some nigga. I don't know what the fuck this nigga. This nigga from North Carolina. Obviously, he keeps saying North Carolina. And the songs and shit. And then Blueprint 3 came out. And Jay-Z put him on a verse on the Blueprint 3, nigga. You would have thought I made it. The way I'm running that shit back.
Congratulations.
I'm running that shit back like, damn, my nigga Jay-Z album, like this shit crazy. And then when he became J. Cole, I've just been like a lifelong, because you grow with the person.
Yeah.
And I think people skip that process when they decide that I'm not going to start my podcast until I get this raw ass camera, 3 of them, these raw ass microphones, this raw ass studio. You rob your audience of the opportunity to just grow with you. Start off in look at Deontay Kyle. Start off in your fucking car on your break at work and just talk your shit. Get your message out there. Get your opinion out there. You're going to forget half the shit you want to talk about by the time you start.
They love the journey.
Absolutely.
I realize that. Like, people would rather want to move through life with you and feel like they've been there from the beginning than you just launching something and it's perfectly curated. It just feels like it's not personable to them or relatable.
Yeah, and it's some benefits to that, but at the same time, it's also to yourself, to me, nigga. Like when Mel and Brian bring up the barbershop days, I'll be like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? Because it keep you I mean, I feel like I'm grounded anyway, but it definitely keep you grounded. It just remind you like, damn, like, motherfucker done came a long way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, being able to see your growth.
Yeah, motherfucker done came a long way. And it's like, is people still with you? Because you could come a long way and lose everybody.
Yeah.
And it's something to be said about that too. It's something to be said about, you know, it's artists that we feel like traded on us. The Wiz Khalifas of the world. It's people who we felt like was for the culture, and then they got on and got to a point, and now you a rock star. Now you making this other shit that's not for this pop music and shit that's not really for us. And so it's like to go from I'm in a barbershop and I'm young and I'm just, my knowledge is limited. I wasn't a reader yet. You know what I'm saying? I ain't become a reader until COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So my knowledge is, everything I'm saying is just based off my experience and how I see the world. The man is the prize. Da, 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 da. I'm one of them niggas. Red Pill wasn't even a thing yet, right?
You created that too?
I didn't create Red Pill, no. But it wasn't even a thing yet. But I was a nigga who was like speaking up for niggas. And I you know, I was the same nigga who be like, oh, well, women fought to be able to go to work and now they don't want to go to work. What the fuck wrong with these hoes? Like not understanding like what the fuck was men doing to women to make them want to wake up one day and be like, you know what? I want a fucking job.
Let's give it up for Terry's growth, y'all.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I think about those things, and I think about how if somebody was listening to that and being like entertained by it or bought into it for whatever reason they was, and then I grew to the next thing, the story time with Terry, and I grew to Terry Rose and podcast, and then I came to Roses I Did. These things are very different. So for somebody to say I valued you at this point with your lack of knowledge and your limited capability, and now I still value you at this point and I still fuck with you, that says a lot. And to me, it says that I grew and I didn't necessarily just change. Like, you know, change in the sense of like, I'm just not who I was before. You know what I'm saying?
And also you may have inspired other people to change, and that's why they kept going with you.
Yeah, maybe. Like, yeah, maybe. So you could do a lot of things when you stop beating yourself up and self-sabotaging yourself.
Yeah, just do it. Just do it.
Absolutely, man. I made a monologue about positive self-talk a while ago. And it's something that I'm trying to teach Carter now. It's something that I'm practicing more now that I'm in a gym, now that I lift weights. I used to hate lifting weights. I didn't even used to lift weights. But even last year when I started lifting weights, I hated it. I'm a little bit more into it now. But even now, I gotta tell myself, like when I'm finna lift some heavy shit, like this shit ain't nothing. This shit light. Like I gotta really say it out loud. I gotta really talk that shit. Like sometimes when I wake up and that 5 a.m. shit go off, you know, I'll be laying there for a minute and I just pop up. I might not say it out loud, but before I pop up, I'll be like, get your bitch ass up. Nigga, like, what are you doing? And I'll just be like, all right, G. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
no, Portia, that's my sister, everyone. Portia was the first person I've heard have to jump up in the morning and say, here goes nothing.
For real?
Yes.
She said, here goes nothing.
That's what she says to get herself out of bed.
Talk about talking white. Somebody, here goes nothing. That's some white shit. That's a white. What's the black version of here goes nothing?
What would it be? Let's get it. I don't know.
Let's get it. Yeah. Oh my God, white motherfuckers, here goes nothing. That's crazy. That's crazy.
No
man.
peace slander.
Absolutely. Before we wrap up this show, what do you feel like is your big takeaways?
My big takeaway is that I am glad I'm in the process of retraining myself to not conflate this rest period. I mean, to not conflate my stagnation with rest. Mm-hmm. I've really been inspired lately, and I know you always say discipline over inspiration or something.
Motivation.
Yeah, motivation. So I'm gonna keep up the discipline because I've been getting out a lot of really good work. But I'm glad that I was able to name it and see it, and you know, you and I talked about it, and that I'm getting through it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. My advice for boy moms this week before we wrap up is that always speak life into your son, but speak life into your son in a way that destroys self-doubt. I know a lot of times we like to be logical. A lot of times we like to, we've already seen the movie that our kids are playing a role in. Like when they going down that street, we know what's down that street. Now, if it's some street shit, some straight negative shit, absolutely tell them not to go down that street. But it's certain things that our kids do that they set out to do that they need to have confidence in. So the last thing you need sometime is somebody telling you what could go wrong. And somebody putting in your head what could go, well, if you do this, well, this might happen and this might go wrong. Sometimes you need a motherfucker to just let you fly and let you hit your head and let you figure it out on your own. But it's like, it could build confidence. It could build resilience. It could build character. But as soon as somebody comes up with a new idea, oh, I want to sell chips at school. I want to sell t-shirts. So I want to do this. I want to do that. If the first thing you do is tell them all the shit that could go wrong, if the first thing you do is tell them that, oh, well, you can't even keep up with your money that I give you to go to the store. Ooh, that's the last thing they need to hear. The last thing they need to hear is the skills that they lack, the mistakes that they made yesterday, and what could go wrong tomorrow. That's the last thing they need to hear when they want to step out on a new journey and do something for themselves. So speak life into your kids. Even if you see, you know what I'm saying, like some potholes on the way, as long as they going down a positive road, let them fly, man. Be the air under their wings. Be there to pick them up when they fuck up. But speak life into them and don't ever give them reasons to doubt themselves. Because when you get away from them and you're gone and you're out of the picture and they're an adult and it's time for them to really walk their road on their own, your voice is going to become their voice. That positive self-talk voice that I have, that I try to teach my son, they're not going to have that voice. It's going to be a negative self-talk voice. And it's going to be your voice in the back of their head telling them like, well, what if this go wrong? What if that go wrong? Well, I got to wait till I get this. And I got to wait till I get that. And I got to da-da-da. So speak life into your son, man. That's advice for boy moms today. If you're chasing something in life, make sure you keep your foot on the gas, man. Don't let nothing stop you. Don't let yourself stop you, man. Decide, plan, sacrifice. We out.
It's all God in the king.